So about 5 months ago, I installed this Flex-a-lite electric radiator fan on my 22RE 4Runner, and it has been anything but a pleasurable driving experience. A few things, mostly cons that I've dealt with, is mostly the drawdown of power. Now to combat that, I bought a high output alternator. However, those high output alternators typically don't really want to kick in until a higher RPM, so it pretty much is acting no differently than a factory alternator. It does catch up quicker when my battery voltage is lower, but a good battery and a good alternator should get you by with this fan if you decide to run it. Now, if you're okay with the drawdown of power, you're going to have to be okay with upping your idle speed, because between the AC compressor, if you have AC, and the electric fan, it draws your power down so much that it brings it into a situation where the RPM drops and the AC doesn't want to stay on. So the AC turns off, it goes back up, and it drops it back down. So there's a big fluctuation in your idle speed there and just the overall draw. What you need to do is adjust your idle speed up to where it can compensate for both your AC compressor and the fan running at the same time, and you're good as gold. However, when the engine does cool down, you go to start it up with one or both of those off. If you turn your AC off in the summertime, the fan is just not going to run until the engine gets hot. Your idle speed is pretty high when you first start it. It's a little like, is this okay? Are you going to be okay? Are you sure you're okay running at this idle speed? Doesn't seem healthy, but that's pretty much what you have to do. It's a little high. It's probably like starts up, goes up to like 1500 RPM. It's a little on the high side, right? 12 to 1500 RPM. But as soon as you start the blower motor with the AC turned on, it draws everything down about where it should be. Once the engine warms up, everything kind of smooths out and you're good to go, right? Even if you stop at the store real quick, you come back out, you start it up, it's going to be pretty much normal. It is only until that engine really cools down and everything settles out for a while is when you see those RPMs jump up, because everything's cold. Everything warms up, everything kind of gets a little bit more loose, and that's kind of what you deal with. There are solutions to that. There are some wiring changes you can make, require like a dedicated igniter circuit to make sure that the alternator is always getting 12 volts clear and clean, not associated with the old dilapidated wiring of a 36-year-old truck. That does help supplement that. So you would run 12 volts straight to the igniter circuit from a 12 volt circuit that isn't the factory wiring harness. That could be from key on power from anywhere. But you have to have a diode facing the alternator on that yellow wire circuit, or it's going to start popping stuff. So from experience on degreeless engineering, I learned that from experience. Okay, so don't do that. Don't just run a wire from 12 volts straight to the igniter circuit of your alternator, because it's not going to work out the way you think it's going to work out. The other thing is to buy a modern alternator that they sell on LCE. I think they have a GM kit that you can use, a GM alternator. I'm sure that works so much better. Is it worth the money? Is it going to make that much of a difference? It might. I mean, those alternators are made to run electric fans and all these electrical circuits and seat warmers and so on and so forth. So if you want seat warmers, if you want AC, if you want an electric fan, you want to modernize your engine, you need to do something like that. But Brian, what about the cooling performance of the electric radiator fan? It says 3,000 something CFMs on Flex-a-lite's website. Nominal, I'll say. As long as the radiator fan, clutch, or electric is cooling enough to maintain the engine temperature of what the thermostat is set at, it's working. Anything additional is running the potential of overcooling the radiator and bringing the engine below its operating temperature. But as far as the efficiency of the air, the CFMs flowing through the radiator, the shroud of the electric fan is probably one of the best I've seen. It's got a nice fat rubber seal that goes all the way around the radiator and seals it nice and good, and maybe that's where they get their CFMs from. I don't know. I don't have an airflow meter like that where I can actually test to see if it's truly putting out 3,000 plus CFMs. But a typical SPAL racing fan does around 1,000. for a 12-volt system. Is this thing really putting out 3,000 CFMs? Maybe, maybe not. That's besides the point. Its ability to maintain the engine temperature is great. The AC performance, nominal. Not really noticing that much of a gain because of the several issues I've had to overcome with it drawing so much power that I have to increase the idle to get the performance out of the AC that I want. So increasing the engine RPM in order to make sure that the AC compressor and the radiator fan are both working at the same time is key. Now, when that is happening, is the AC performance good? It's good. It's not like, oh, I'm freezing to death inside of my truck, but it is nominally better than what it was before. Is it worth the trouble of wiring up an electric fan? I'll leave that up to you guys. It's pretty a simple installation. Would I do it on another truck of the same type? No, I think I would stick with a clutch fan, and I think you should too. Thanks for watching. This is Degreeless Engineering, a channel where we engineer using experience, and I experience this fan so you guys don't have to. Like, subscribe. I'll see you later.